Evet, merhabalar herkese. Hepiniz IEFT Talks webinarlarına hoş geldiniz. Bugün mükemmel akademik eğitimiyle İngiltere'nin en köklü üniversitelerinden University of Liverpool'dan Brandon bizlerle olacak. Aynı zamanda Kasım fuarlarında da bizlerle olacak. University of Liverpool temsilcisiyle görüşme fırsatı yakalayabileceğiniz fuarlarımıza da katılmayı unutmayın. Deyip sözü şimdi Brandon'a bırakıyorum. Lütfen sorularınızı soru cevap bölümünden yönlendirmeyi unutmayın. Yes, Brandon, the stage is yours now.
Cool, perfect. Thank you very much, Zainab. So hello, everybody, and it's great to see you all here today. So as Zainab mentioned, my name is Brendan D'Souza. I am the Country Development Manager for Turkey here at the University of Liverpool. And I'm sure Zainab already mentioned that in November we are going to be attending the IEFT fairs taking place in Istanbul, in Ankara, and Izmir. So this is your first time seeing me, but also maybe your second time later. So I hope to see you again next time. Of course, during the session, if you have any questions, then feel free to put them into the Q&A at the bottom. We will answer the questions at the end of the session. We'll do them all at one time. But before that, I'm going to do my presentation. So if you wait just a second, I'm going to share my screen, and then we will get started. Okay, so hopefully you can see my screen okay. If not, feel free to put a comment in the questions at the bottom. And we're just going to start now. Okay, so this is the presentation for today. This we'll call our global webinar, and we'll just get started. So what we're going to do today is tell you everything about the University of Liverpool, but also about the city of Liverpool. Now, I'm sure many of you have already heard of the name of Liverpool and the university, so I'm going to go into more detail and tell you as much as possible, but within approximately 1 hour or less. So we'll have a very comprehensive view today. So what are we going to talk about today? So first of all, I'm going to tell you all about the city of Liverpool first, then the university and its departments and so on. And then after that, we will talk about the opportunities that are available to students here. So not just the degree programs, but the other opportunities as well. And then we will look at the requirements for applicants if you want to study here. Then we will look at the funding, which is very important. And then finally, we'll look at the next steps. So what you can do next if you do really want to come here to the University of Liverpool. So let's have a look at where the city is. So if you're not familiar with the geography of the UK, Liverpool is in the northwest of England. It's in a very, very convenient location if you want to travel from Turkey or any other country. It's very close to Manchester. So many of our students arrive from Manchester Airport and come straight to Liverpool. It's very convenient. And it's only about 2 hours and 20 minutes on the train to London, a direct train. So it's very easy to get to Liverpool and out of Liverpool again. We also have direct connections up to Scotland, to Ireland, to Belgium, France, and many other countries as well, because Liverpool has its own airport too. So it's a very well-connected city, and it's also a big city as well. It's a very good place to live. And I recently moved to Liverpool as well, and I can tell you honestly, it's a really nice place to live. So let's look at it in a little bit more detail. So this is the most famous image of Liverpool, the city of Liverpool. This is the Three Graces. These are the three most beautiful buildings in Liverpool, right next to the River Mersey. I always say that these buildings look a little bit like the buildings that you might find in Istanbul. So to people who live in Istanbul, it may be a little bit familiar. And this is the most famous place in Liverpool. Now let's look at some information about the city. It's very famous, obviously, for its culture because of the Beatles, and it's famous because of the architecture and famous ships that were from Liverpool and so on. But it's also a very nice place to live as well. So first of all, we have the Student Choice Awards, and we won for the City Life categories. That's great. We also have Sunday Times Awards. So Sunday Times is one of the major newspapers in the UK, and it was the best place in Britain to be a graduate. There are many opportunities for graduates and students to work in Liverpool as well, because it has a very good local economy. We also got rated as the friendliest city in England and the second friendliest in the whole of the UK. So it's a very friendly place. The local people are very nice to students. We also got rated as the fourth friendliest city in the whole world, which is fantastic. And again, the kindest and friendliest city in the UK and the safest city in the UK as well. So overall, it's a really great place to live here in the city of Liverpool. A few more little facts about the city as well. So actually, there are 6 universities here in Liverpool, and the University of Liverpool is the oldest one. So it was founded in 1881. So it's one of the oldest universities in the UK. There are 90,000 students living in Liverpool. So that means there's lots of young people to meet and talk to. It's a really nice atmosphere in Liverpool. So it's very exciting because there's so many young people. We also get 64 million visitors every year in Liverpool because of these famous landmarks. As you can see in the picture, there are the buildings that we talked about before, but also this Albert Dock, which is a very famous cultural center with museums and galleries and bars and so on. So we get lots of visitors, and many of them obviously are because of the Beatles, because they came from Liverpool. We also have a heritage skyline, which means these famous buildings that we talked about. It's one of the most famous buildings areas in the whole of the UK. I think it's the second most famous outside of London, so pretty famous. We also are considered one of the arts, music, and cultural capitals of the UK, and we've hosted numerous major events in the last few decades. And we also have more museums and galleries than any UK city outside of London. So there's so much culture available in Liverpool. It's not just a city to study in or live in. There's so much more you can do here in the city of Liverpool. Obviously, it's the birthplace of the Beatles, which is very famous. And we also have 2 very famous football teams as well, Liverpool and Everton as well. And their football grounds, the places where they play football, is very close to the city centre as well. So if you want to go and watch a football game, it's very easy. It's very convenient. We also have lots of great shopping and dining opportunities in the city centre as well. We have some very, very modern shopping areas, and we also have lots and lots of restaurants in the city. Luckily, we have many great Turkish restaurants, obviously, and every other kind of food that you would like to try as well. So many things you can do here. And also many places to go shopping for food as well. And the last thing is we hosted the Eurovision Song Contest a few months ago. So Liverpool is still a famous city all around Europe because of that event as well. Now, moving on to the next page. This is just a few pictures of what Liverpool looks like. There are many, many other places as well, but these are some of the things I wanted to mention. So as you can see, Liverpool is kind of a mix. We have lots of very old, beautiful architecture, and then some very modern buildings too. In the bottom right corner of the screen, you can see Liverpool One Shopping Centre, which is probably the best outdoor modern shopping centre in the whole of the UK. And if you want to go to any big, small, famous shops, you can go there and you'll find anything that you want. On the other side, on the left side of the screen, you can see some of the most famous old buildings in the city. So with the museums and the buildings next to the river. It's a very beautiful area. You can also see on the left at the top, which is our central library, which is one of the most modern and amazing libraries in the UK. If you look at the bottom, you can see the seaside. So near Liverpool, there are many beautiful beaches as well. So in the summer or spring, you can go to the beach and you can just relax there. And it's very easy and very simple to get there. We also have lots of very modern buildings. We have very beautiful cathedrals, parks, and so on. And finally, on the right-hand side at the top, you can see our Liverpool Lime Street train station, which is the oldest main train station in the whole of the UK. And that is where you can go to London as well. So very convenient and a beautiful city centre. Now, let's look at the university. So as I mentioned before, the university was established in 1881. It was originally part of a group called the Victoria University, which is a very old group, and it started right here at the building opposite me here, so it's only a few meters away where the university actually started. So it's a very historical university and a very historical building as well. We are part of the Russell Group. So the Russell Group is the top group of universities in the UK. There's about 24 universities in that group, including Oxford, Cambridge, all the famous universities. We are part of that group as well. And 91% of our research is considered world leading. So we have a global reputation for excellent research, which is obviously very important for many students who want to go into that kind of degree, or if they want to do a PhD as well. And lastly, in terms of our specialisms, so we are the only UK university that has the full clinical education coverage, which means we have all of the medical programs, and we also do dentistry and also veterinary sciences as well. So if you're interested in becoming a veterinarian, then you can go to study at our specialist campus, which is on the other side of the river, and we have a full range of facilities for people who want to study that area. So now on to the next page. So just a couple of interesting facts about the university. So we were the first university to have departments in architecture, biochemistry, civic design, and oceanography. So obviously some very useful areas, and we were the first university to have them. We have over 22,000 students doing 400 programs in 54 subject areas on campus. So earlier I mentioned there were many tens of thousands of students in the city of Liverpool, and 22,000 of those students are here with the University of Liverpool. And there are over 7,700 international students here on campus. And I know there are plenty of Turkish students because I've already met some of them when I came here to the campus. So you'll feel very comfortable here. It's very international and very friendly. And finally, we have a global network of 219,000 alumni in 171 countries, obviously including Turkey and many countries around Turkey as well. So we are a very, very, very global university, and that's something we're very proud of. On to the next page. So obviously rankings. So we have a kind of global reputation, and we're obviously trying to increase that all of the time. So in terms of world rankings, so we are currently with QS, we are 190. With the Times, the UK newspaper, we are 178. With US News, we are 155. ARWU, 101. In terms of UK rankings, we are number 26 for QS and the Times. For the US News, 17, and then ARWU, 9 to 16. And obviously this is improving all the time. So hopefully we'll just continue to rise all of the time. Okay, so now let's look at the university's facilities. Now I'm currently on campus, and I can tell you we have many beautiful buildings and many modern, very useful buildings as well. So many of the facilities we have for teaching are very modern and very nice. A good example is the management school, which is very modern, and they have great staff and great facilities there. So you would never be disappointed with the facilities there. We also have lots of fantastic accommodation as well for students, but we will look at the accommodation later. We also have two libraries which are open 24 hours a day. They are on the North Campus, which is just over the road from me, and then another one in the South Campus. They're both very nice, very lovely, convenient areas to study. And most importantly, the campus is actually growing and improving all the time. So every year there is a new project to build something new on campus, or to build a new park, for example. So the campus itself is constantly getting better every single year. So if you come here to do an undergraduate degree, when you finish, the campus will be even better than when you started. So it's always changing, always improving. And then finally, we have a very large sports center and swimming pool as well. That is in the center of campus. I visited there a few days ago, and I can tell you it's very nice. It's very big. You will definitely like it. It's very convenient. In terms of services, we also have numerous fantastic services available to students. So first of all, we have a careers service, which is very convenient. It's in the center of the campus, so very easy to find. They provide career coaches for students to help you find a job after university and plan your career. So they provide lots of guidance. And it's also current students who might be older than you in another year, and they will also help you with your career planning as well. So it's a great service with staff and students. We also have support services across all of the academic departments, pastoral, mental health as well. Everything is available to students whilst you are studying here. And then finally, we have the Guild of Students, or in some countries they call it the Union of Students as well. That's a building that's on the center of campus. It's a fantastic building. They provide loads of services to students. They have student groups, communities, sports, many things available to students whilst you are studying here. And it's all very convenient. It's really, really close to each other. So if you are coming to the campus for a class or lecture, you can do everything you need to do in a very short period of time. It's very, very convenient. So you'll definitely like the campus. Now, if we go on to the next page, so a little bit more about our accommodation. So in this picture, you can see Crown Place, which is one of our most central accommodation buildings. It's very, very new. It's actually 3 different buildings. And then if you look behind these buildings, you'll see an old red building, which is the Victoria Gallery and Museum, which is next to me right now. So that's the center of campus. And then if you look to the left, you can see the very tall, pointy building. That is Liverpool Metropolitan Cathedral, which is a very famous building. And then behind those buildings, you can see the city centre. So you can see the University of Liverpool is very centrally located. It's very convenient, and we have accommodation that is right at the centre of the campus. And obviously, these are not the only buildings we have. There are numerous other buildings as well, which I will show you on the next page. Just to mention, we have on and off campus accommodation. So this is obviously on the campus, but we have some accommodation in other places too, close to the campus. Many different options, some more expensive, some cheaper, some smaller, some bigger, many different options depending on what you want to do. They're generally all private bedrooms. They have en suite, so your own bathroom usually, and then shared kitchen, living areas, and so on. The standards, the quality is always very good, so you'll be very comfortable. Whichever building you choose, you'll be very comfortable. And obviously, there's a range of locations and prices available, and these can all be found on our accommodation website. And just a quick mention, for the next year, so if you apply to come to Liverpool in 2024, we do aim to provide, we hope to guarantee accommodation if you apply before the 31st of July. That was the rule for this year, and it should be the same again next year. Okay. If you have any questions about accommodation, obviously you can contact us and we will be happy to help. And then finally, just another quick comment. We do have other accommodation offers. This is our Green Bank Student Village. This picture does not show the whole area. It's a little bit bigger than this, but this is about 1 mile, I think, south of the university. It's in a very nice, very comfortable area within Liverpool. And I know because it's near where I live, so I know it's a very nice area to live in. It's very green, and it has a sports centre as well. And it's a very convenient place to live because it's easy to get to the university. And all of the buildings are very new. So it's new, it's convenient, it's comfortable, and it's very pretty as well. So if you live there, I'm sure you will be very happy. Okay, now we're going on to more details about the university. So obviously we provide a whole range of different programs. We'll start on the left. So we have science and engineering. So we have engineering as a whole, including advanced manufacturing, aerospace, biomedical, civil, mechanical, etc. We have electrical and electronics engineering, computer science, environmental sciences, we have physical sciences, and so on. So we have a full range of STEM subjects, as we call it. We also have health and life sciences. We mentioned this before. So we have a full medicine program and veterinary sciences, biological sciences, health sciences, and psychology. And then we also have a huge range of humanities and social sciences programs as well. So we have architecture, communications and media, English, history, languages, culture, law, management, which management school includes many other programs, music, politics, and sociology, social policy, and criminology. So as you can see, we have a huge range of programs. And for full details of these programs, I would recommend going to our website and selecting each program that you are interested in. And then you can see the full details, and then you can also see the entry requirements. We will talk about entry requirements later, but the specific entry requirements for each program will be a little bit different. So if you check on the website for the program that you are interested in, and then click to check your country, Turkey, and then it'll tell you exactly what you need for that program. Okay, but if you do have a if you do have a question, then you can obviously contact us and we will definitely be happy to help you with your question. Okay, and now let's have a look at the accreditations. I know this is something that many students are very interested in, so obviously we will talk about it. So first of all, the management school, so we call it ULMS, so the University of Liverpool Management School, is Triple Crown accredited, something we're very proud of. So we have AMBER, EQUIS, and AACSB. So these are 3 professional accreditations, and there are not many universities in the world that have this Triple Crown. So it's something we're very proud of. I personally work very closely with people at the management school, and they work very hard to keep this accreditation every single year. So they are constantly trying to improve and get better and better and better. So if you do study in the management school, you will be very happy with the program that you do. Trust me, you will have a fantastic time. We also have professional accreditations for many other programs too, marketing, accounting, finance, etc., and also for sciences and engineering. So many of our programs are accredited, but they also have fantastic connections with industry and other professional areas as well. So you're not just studying at university, you're also building your connections beyond the university as well. So it's a very worthwhile program to do. We also have the Year in Industry program, which is the 4-year bachelor undergraduate program. This is available in the management school for computer science, for engineering, electrical engineering, communications and media, and chemistry as well. As you may know, in the UK, normally a degree is 3 years at undergraduate level, but it's also very common now to have a 4-year program. And that can be 2 years and then 1 year in industry and then another year as well. So 4 years in total. This is very common and this is available to you as well, of course. And then finally, we have the integrated masters as well. So that's called 3+1, and that's available for engineering and then electronics engineering. Chemistry, geology, biological sciences, and extra as well. If you are wondering about what is available, then please have a look at the website and see which program is most interesting to you. There's always more details available on the website. And remember that the details are always updated as well. So this is an overview of what we have available, but for the full details, always check the website. And if you're not sure about something, please always contact us and we'll always be happy to help you. Okay, so now we're going to go on to the opportunities for students and graduates. So first of all, just to let you know that 88% of our students achieve a first class or 2-1 degree. So if that's unfamiliar to you, that means the highest level and the second highest level of awards that you get. So students do very well at Liverpool. We also have the Career Studio and Career Coaches, which we already talked about. So that's a professional kind of service that the university offers to students. And it's a kind of a unique service that not many universities have. I don't think, actually, there might not be many at all. It might be a unique service to Liverpool. And they will guide you with your career development and seeking a job after university. We're also one of the top 25 universities in the UK, most targeted by global graduate employers. So big companies in the UK and in other countries always want to recruit students or graduates from the University of Liverpool. So studying at Liverpool will be great for your career. Honestly, trust me. And then we are 18th in the QS graduate employability rankings for 2022. So again, our graduates have great employability and the chance of having a job soon after university is very high. And as you can see in the last point, 95% of our graduates are in employment or further study 15 months after graduation. And 92% tell us the work they do is meaningful, which is fantastic because that means that they found the right job for them. So they're obviously satisfied with their career, so their degree, and then their career as well. So overall, studying at Liverpool is going to be very beneficial and very helpful for your career. So there you go. And now we'll go on to the next page. So this is what we're looking at in terms of graduate routes. So where people go after they have graduated from the University of Liverpool. So we've broken this into a few sections. So we have computer science, engineering, and management. And as you can see, on this list, there are some very, very, very famous big companies. Just to pick out some examples, we've got Google, we've got Microsoft, we have Airbus, we have Rolls-Royce there, Siemens, Coca-Cola, Deloitte, and so on, KPMG. So some very, very big, famous companies. And students from Liverpool, the University of Liverpool, go to these companies. Now, obviously, these are just 3 areas, but there are many others as well. So whatever program you would like to do here at Liverpool, it's going to be very beneficial for your career as a whole. Okay. And onto other opportunities. So this is a little bit different and very specific. So you may or you may not know, we actually have a campus in China, in Suzhou, which is close to Shanghai, about 40 minutes from Shanghai. So we have several programs available. The one that's available to undergraduate students is the 3+1 program. So you can spend 3 years here in Liverpool and then 1 year studying in China. As you can see from the picture, the campus in Suzhou is really, really modern. It's very nice. And obviously, it's close to Shanghai. So if you want to travel and go overseas, this is a fantastic opportunity. And you're still studying with Liverpool. We have a team based over in Suzhou, we call it XJTLU, because that's the name of the university. We have a team based over there, but they're also connected to the international relations team here at Liverpool as well. So if you do choose a program like that, you are going to be supported all the time by the team here in Liverpool and the team in China as well. So it's a fantastic opportunity if you want to do that. We also have the chance to do semester and year abroad programs in many countries around the world. I recently had a look at the list of countries that you can study in for a year or a semester, and there's so many opportunities. You can go to many, many different countries. So basically, if you arrive in Liverpool, check on our website, talk to your department, see what opportunities are available, and you will be amazed by the possibilities of where you can study. We also have lots of language programs, obviously. So just a few examples here are Mandarin, French, Spanish, German, Italian, Russian, Japanese, Arabic, and numerous other languages as well as degree programs. So if you are interested in learning another language, then there are many possibilities as well. On the side of that as well, we also have our English Language Centre, and that provides numerous English language services. You can study an English program before you arrive in Liverpool, which we call pre-sessional English, or you can do in-sessional English, which means studying English at the same time as your degree. So if you would like to improve your English as well, you can do that at the same time at our English Language Centre. We also have work experience opportunities. So we organize internships, work placements, year in industry, part-time jobs. So there are many part-time jobs available to students either on campus or near the campus, and we will help you find those opportunities where they're available. And then for the internships, placements, and year in industry, they are usually organized through your degree, through your department. So if you are interested in any of those 3, talk to your department and they will be able to help you all the way. Okay, and then now we'll talk about the requirements, so the really important part. So I'm going to talk about the general requirements, and then I'll provide some notes on what is required for Turkish applicants as well. So first of all, students completing without A-levels, so like high school qualifications, should apply to join the University of Liverpool International College, which is provided by Kaplan. I'm sure you know the name Kaplan. It's a global provider of education services, and they have an international college, which is about 5 minutes from the campus. They have a fantastic, really big modern building where you can do English and other programs before you start studying at the University of Liverpool. So it's very convenient because you can do the program at the International College, but then you are also called an associate student with the University of Liverpool. So you can use all of our facilities as well. So you can start being at the University of Liverpool before you're actually studying here. So it's fantastic. And the team at the International College are fantastic. I met them recently and they're very nice people. So you would have a great time there. Normally, if you have completed A-levels or your high school qualifications, we normally ask for 3 A's or 3 B's. It depends on the program. So every single degree program is different. I would recommend checking the program website to see what the requirements are. And generally, for undergraduate programs, if you are coming from Turkey, obviously, if you have the Lise Diplomacy, I think, so if I pronounced it wrong, I apologize. Normally, you would be required to have a score of 70 or more, 70% or more. Usually, it's more than 80%. So the important thing is to check for the degree program that you want to do and see whether it needs to be more than 70 or more than 80. Check the exact number. If you're not sure, if it's not clear, then definitely contact us and we will be happy to help you. Okay, and then for all programs, the English language qualifications required would be IELTS 6 to 7. So obviously that's a mandatory requirement. So you need to have the IELTS qualifications before you come, or you can do the English courses at the International College before you do a degree here at Liverpool. Okay. And then when it comes to master's programs, so postgraduate, you can come to Liverpool if you have a degree from an approved university on the ECTIS, the ECCTIS list. And with regards to actual qualifications requirements for postgraduate, you would need to have completed the 4-year undergraduate program in Turkey, which is the Lisans Diplomacy. I apologize if my pronunciation is bad. And normally you would need to have a GPA of 3 out of 4, which means 80%. That's the normal criteria. But again, if you're not sure, then feel free to contact us and we can help you. And if you want to check if your university is on the list of approved universities, then obviously you can contact us and we can help you with that as well. Okay. So hopefully that answers all of those questions. If you have any specific questions, you can ask at the end, or you can email us and we can help with that as well. Okay. On to English language requirements in particular. So obviously it's very important to have the English language skills before you come to the UK, not just because of studying in the UK, but also because then you can live in the UK as well. It's obviously English is the main language here. So it's very important that you can speak a sufficient level of English so then you can comfortably live in the United Kingdom. And the minimum requirement is the CEFR B2 level. So if you're not sure about your level, you can compare this to other rankings. CEFR is the European Union average standard grading system. Okay. And also this is required if you want to obviously have the student visa and then for graduate visa as well later. Okay. Also, if you have any local English language test that you've completed, then you may need to check with us to see if that is already accepted, so you don't need to do IELTS again. If you're not sure, please email us and then we can double check with you so you know exactly what the answer is. Okay. And also, like we've said before, the requirements are different for each program. So I know for some programs like engineering, for example, or the very technical special programs, you would need higher requirements. So for English and also for your grades, it would need to be a little bit higher than some other programs. Okay? And like we mentioned before, the pre-sessional English programs are also available. So if you click on the link there, which will be shared afterwards, you can see what is required and how you can do the English programs as well. Okay, on to funding. So obviously funding is very important. So just to let you know, at the moment, the funding, the tuition fees for the next year, so 2024, they are being confirmed very soon. So these numbers are actually for 2023, and they may change a little bit, but not too much. Okay. So normally the tuition fees are between 21,000 and 39,250. Depends on the program. So usually for programs like medicine, then the fees will be higher. That's for undergraduate. For postgraduate, the fees can be found on the specific web page for each program. So if you know which degree program you would like to do, then go to the website for that program, and it will tell you what the fees are and also what the entry requirements are. And it will tell you for your country as well, so for Turkey. If it does not say for Turkey, then you can go to our overall website and it will tell you entry requirements for countries, and then choose Turkey on the list, and then it will tell you what is required. Okay. And if you want to find out about undergraduate fees, then have a look at our tuition fees and scholarships website, which the link is in the screen here now. And then also we have a number of scholarships as well for undergraduate and postgraduate, and you'll be notified of your eligibility when you're applying. So usually these are added when you are applying. You don't always need to apply for them separately. So you'll be considered for them anyway when you apply to the University of Liverpool. Okay. And then on to the funding, so undergraduate scholarships. So these are the ones that we currently have. They will not change much. They may change slightly for the next year, but not much. So the first one is the Vice Chancellor's International Attainment Scholarship. So if you have good grades, then you can achieve a £3,000 fee reduction. If you have the First Class Scholarship, that means you have a £1,000 fee reduction for each year. So if you continue to have high grades when you are studying at Liverpool, then you will have the fee reduction each year. That does not apply to clinical programs. So if you are doing medicine, dentistry, or veterinary sciences, it does not apply, I'm afraid. Also, as I mentioned before, there's no separate application for this, so we automatically check if you can have this scholarship each year. So to make it easier for students, you don't need to apply all of the time for these scholarships. They will be added. And you will see when you do your application, and then each year you will see if you have been given the scholarship. So it's automatic, it's easier for students. We also have country and regional specific scholarships. Obviously, it's better to check the international pages for this. Obviously, from Turkey, there is the opportunity to have funding from the Ministry of Education, and this is something that you can check on our Turkey country pages, and also if you contact the Ministry of Education as well to see what is available. Okay. And then when it comes to postgraduate scholarships, so we have a Vice Chancellor's International Attainment Scholarship for PGT. So that is a 2,500 fee reduction for students who have achieved a first class in their previous degree. So if you studied in the UK before or not, then we will check and see if it's the same as a UK first class degree. Again, we automatically check if you are eligible for these scholarships, so you don't need to apply separately for these scholarships. It's automatic. Again, we have country regional specific ones. These will change slightly for next year, so they'll not be just based on countries, they'll be based on certain other criteria. The best thing to do is to keep checking the scholarship page within the next few weeks to see how they've changed slightly. And then finally, we do have scholarships available for different programs. So for example, the management school have various scholarships available, and the best thing to do is to check the management school website to see what is available, because they have numerous scholarships available. They have a good package for students, and the same also for other departments as well, like law and so on. Okay. All right, so we're nearly at the end now, so we'll do the questions soon. But a quick couple of important points I want to mention. So in terms of next steps, so if you are coming to the university and you want to come, you're intending to apply, you can meet with our student ambassadors, who are our student representatives, and they're very happy to answer questions about the university, especially to people who are applying to Liverpool and they want to come here, and they will provide you with that kind of personal, better support whilst you are applying to come to Liverpool. And obviously, if you click on the link there, which will be shared later, then you can get in touch with our student ambassadors. And I'm sure there's ambassadors for many, many, many countries. I know there is at least one I have met already who is from Turkey. So he'll be able to help you out when you are applying to Liverpool. And then finally, this is the last page. So two things I wanted to share with you. So you feel free to use your phone to take a picture of these two QR codes. So the first one is the virtual tour of our campus. So you can see our beautiful campus and see how nice it is where I am today. And then also we have the Insider's Guide video as well. So if you want to see what it's like living here and being in Liverpool, you can use these two links to watch the videos and see the content and just see how fantastic the city is and how fantastic the campus is, and see the wonderful mix of modern and old buildings and just how nice it is on campus here. Okay, so that is, I believe, the end of the session. So we'll now move on to questions and answers. So perhaps, Zainab, do you want to join again and we can organize the Q&A session, or would you like me to just answer the questions directly?
You can go to the Q&A session, Brandon, and start answering the questions. And thank you for your presentation.
Okay. So would you like to read out the questions, or how would you like to do the questions?
I can forward the questions to you if you'd like. So our first question would be one of our participants. He says, hello, what is the IB grade required for the politics studies?
Oh, for a specific program, we'll have to check the actual program website. Or if you want to, Zainab, you can provide my email address, and then students can contact me directly so I can let them know. That's okay. But for each individual program, the best thing to do is to check the program website, and then you'll know exactly what it is, because it changes for each program.
Yeah, thank you for your answer. And Melissa is asking, what kind of social clubs Liverpool have that students can socialize?
That's a good question, yeah. So actually, I recently met with the Turkish student group and asked about what they do. So for Turkish students and all other students, there are social groups available through the Guild of Students. So basically, a group of students can start a group for their country or any other group. It doesn't have to be for countries. It can be for, I don't know, dancing, travel, sports, anything you like. There are hundreds of different groups available at the Guild. So when you arrive in September, usually, that's when the semester starts. So we have a fair where all of these groups advertise themselves to students, and you can simply go to them and then ask to join. And usually it's either free or very, very, very cheap. I think it's actually free for most of these groups. So you can go and they have cultural events, they have sports events, numerous different things. And actually the fair, the new one, will be taking place next week. So I'm very excited to see it myself. But there are many opportunities of things you can do all across campus with the Guild, but also in your departments as well. And then in the city as a whole, there are also many other opportunities as well, not just for students. Basically, being in Liverpool, there's so much you can do beyond simply studying here. There's so many opportunities to go beyond your degree program. And that's so important when you go to university, because obviously you're coming from another country, really far away. You want to have as many opportunities as possible. So trust me, if you're on campus or off campus, if it's a Turkish group or if it's another country group or if it's another activity, you'll have plenty of things to do here at the university. Hopefully that answers the question.
Thank you for your answer. So it's like the Korea universities, so because they also have that kind of fair for the student clubs.
Yeah. So we have the fairs for the activities, and also I think there is a sports fair which is separate as well. So you have opportunities to do both of them on different days. So yeah, and normally in the UK, Wednesday afternoon, I believe, is the day when most people have their student groups as well. So on Wednesday afternoon, there are normally no classes. You can go to do your sports or your activities. That's the fun afternoon for students.
Yes. Next question is from Delal. Do we need to study certain IB lessons for certain degrees, or do you just consider the total points?
I believe for some programs it may be required that you do specific classes before and get certain IB grades. But again, that depends on the program because every program is different and also it changes a little bit sometimes. So I can't say for every program, I'm afraid, because it's quite long. The list is quite long. The important thing is to check the page for the program you're interested in to see if they need it. The reason I say that is because obviously with programs like engineering, they may want to have like maths, for example, or physics, something like that. So I think for some programs, they definitely do need it, but I would strongly recommend checking the website to see what that program needs. If it's not clear, you can obviously contact us and we will definitely help you to find the answer.
And our next question from Amin. How much is the monthly expense of an international student in the UK?
Oh, that is a very good question. So in Liverpool, it's much cheaper than living in London. I've obviously lived in different places in the UK, and I can honestly say living in Liverpool is much cheaper, but it's a very nice place to live. I mean, I only wanted to live here because it's a nice place, trust me. So in terms of like rent, for example, it can vary a lot. Usually it's around maybe 400 to 700 pounds a month on rent. It depends where you live though. But there are many, many places for students to live close to the campus. So obviously earlier we talked about the accommodation that is available on the campus, university accommodation. But if you want to move into private accommodation, it's usually very close to the city centre and to the campus, but it's a little bit cheaper as well. So from the information I have, if you're living in private accommodation, like I said, it tends to be about 450 to 700. If you're living in university accommodation, I think it's around the 700, I think. It depends where you move to, though, and depends if you want to spend more. When I was a student, I went to the nicest accommodation because I wanted to be comfortable. In terms of food and so on, again, it's very cheap as well. It's much cheaper than London. I usually spend only £200 to £300 a month on food. You can spend less than that if you want to. I spend more because I have 2 dogs, so I spend more money. But in Liverpool, there are many shops where you can buy food at a good price. It's not too expensive. And also the travel is cheaper than in London, for example. It's also cheaper because most of the accommodation is close to campus. So you don't need to worry about spending lots and lots of money on traveling around because it's so close to each other. So I think in terms of the costs, it depends on your lifestyle, but Liverpool is famous for being cheaper than Manchester and London. It's a great place to live, but it is cheaper. So it's a good balance, basically.
And we have another question. Do you accept conditional offer?
So what do you mean? We accept conditional offer? Do you mean like, do we provide that to students?
Yes.
Yeah, so normally we have the conditional and unconditional offers. That's standard for universities across the UK. So obviously conditional means we'll be waiting for additional documents or additional grades. So if we look at the grades and information that you provide in the beginning, if we think that you are likely to come here, then we would do the conditional offer. That's normal. Obviously, if you have already provided all of your grades and your English scores and so on, then you can go to unconditional offer as well. So yes, we do have conditional offers and we do have unconditional offers as well.
No, and we have a question from Chidam. She is asking, do you offer special discount or scholarships for Turkish students?
So there is the offer from the Turkish Ministry of Education, which helps students receive a discount on their tuition fees. I need to check the exact amount. I can double check. I can't check right now, but I know there is a discount available, a good discount available to Turkish students if they apply for a program and they get the funding from the Turkish Ministry of Education. So that is available to students who are coming to Liverpool. I would recommend checking on the country page for Turkey on the University of Liverpool website and double check the exact amounts. The reason I can't remember exactly is because we recently signed a new contract with the Ministry of Education. So the new information will be on the website. But yes, there is the offer available to Turkish students.
Perfect. And another question, what is the percentage of acceptance rate for the university?
Oh, that is a good question. I don't have an answer, I'm afraid. Obviously, it depends on the quality of the application. Obviously, if people meet the criteria. I don't know if there's an exact number, and also from the information I have, it changes slightly every year as well. So I wouldn't worry about the acceptance rates. Basically, if you have the right grades, if you clearly meet the criteria, and if you're clearly dedicated to doing a degree program here, then you have a good chance of being accepted. So I would definitely focus more on having all of your requirements and grades prepared, and then also choosing a degree program that you really want to do, because then when you do your personal statement, your letter, then obviously they can see that you're passionate about doing the program, and that will give you obviously a much better chance of being accepted for the program. So I would focus on that, not the acceptance rates, because the numbers change all the time. So that changes too much. But if you're passionate about doing a program, that's the most important thing. So I just focus on your grades and then applying for the program.
Thank you for the explanation. Melissa is asking, when I study there, would you support me if I make a project?
Oh, okay. I'm not sure what you mean by project. So I'll just give you a couple of different answers. So, for example, if you're doing something with a student group, for example, the university or the guild would help you with that potentially. So if it's like an activity or like volunteering or something international, there's always support available for things like that. If you're in a university department, for example, if it's engineering or something like that, or computer science, they do support students doing special projects. We have a lot of examples of science and engineering projects done by students. The university is very keen to help students with activities like that. So that is definitely possible. It's also possible in other departments as well. Sometimes it involves like international trips and things like that. But it depends what kind of project you're thinking of. If it's something in a student group, it's definitely possible because the guild will help you. If it's in your department, I think there are many opportunities I've heard of, but it also depends on which department you or which degree program you want to do. But a simple answer is yes, the university does like to support students doing interesting projects, but speak to the department first and see what they can do and how they can help you.
Thank you. And Jansu is asking, can I transfer my credits if I were to start a graduate program?
Oh, if you want to transfer, you would need to contact us directly so we can make sure that the points and the previous program are accepted. So that's the only way to confirm about that. You can contact us directly, and Zainab, if you can share our contact details afterwards, then we can answer that question. I don't think we can answer that question right now because it depends on personal circumstances.
Sure. And another question. We have a lot of questions. Kutai is asking, is TOEFL not acceptable for English certification?
Oh, you'll have to check our English language requirements page. The link was in the previous section. Basically, we compare it off of IELTS. So anything that is comparable to the IELTS level, then it should be okay. But also it changes slightly sometimes. So I would recommend looking on our English language page and double checking how it compares to IELTS. That's what I would recommend doing. And if you're not sure, again, you can contact us and then we can check. Because I have had numerous students contact me directly to ask about their grades. Sometimes they're accepted, sometimes they're not. So it's a good idea to contact us directly, and then we can answer the question. So then when you do apply, it's okay and the documents are accepted.
Thank you. Another question, is there a foundation year for law school and is it mandatory?
Okay. So we do have the kind of foundation program, which is actually with the International College. I believe that would be mandatory depending on your grades and what you've previously studied. So again, the important thing would be to check on the program website and check your grades based on what they require. If you don't meet the criteria for starting in year 1 of a degree program, then it would say you should do the foundation program. Obviously, like we mentioned before, you would need to have completed, for undergraduate, it would be the lycée de diplomatie. Sorry, forgive my pronunciation. So if you have not completed that, if you've completed a lower qualification or a different grade and so on, then you may need to do it. But again, it depends on the specific program. But having said that, the International College is fantastic. So if you had to do the foundation program, you would enjoy it. There is also the different options of foundation or the International Year 1, I believe it's called. So you could potentially do a program, a 1-year program at the International College. And then when you finish that, you can go into the second year of a degree program. But again, it depends on your personal grades and it depends on the requirements of the degree. That's the two important things. So check what you have and then what's required. If the information is not clear, again, just contact us and then we can find a specific answer for you. Because many of the questions we have, it can only be answered if you contact us directly. That often happens. So don't worry about contacting us. That's basically our job, to answer the questions.
Thank you. And another question, is Liverpool part of clearing application period and how many capacity becomes roughly available during this term?
Okay, so yes, we do clearing. We did do clearing this year and I think we usually do it anyway. In terms of capacity, I can't say for sure. I know even this year it was very different to last year. So in terms of capacity, I cannot say exactly. All I would say is when it becomes available on our website, so that's the first place to look. If you've already applied to Liverpool or you've already registered, then you may receive email updates. And then check on our website. When international clearing opens, then try and register and apply straight away. That's the only advice I would give. We do clearing, and apply as soon as you see it has opened. Don't worry so much about the numbers because they change all the time. Sometimes there's more, sometimes there's less. So it's just when you see it, apply straight away. I know many students have been very successful this year. It's been good for international students, but it does change every year. So just when you see it, apply straight away.
Another question, when do the applications start for 24 and 25 year and when does it end?
Okay, so I believe applications for next year will start, is it next month? I think it is, usually around October, I think. I would just suggest checking the website regularly to see when the applications open. And then when they close, I believe that is I think it's in July or August next year. So my personal advice would be to apply in the autumn, so like October, November, December, apply then if possible. And then you can also consider applying for the financial support, like we mentioned, through the Turkish Ministry of Education. If you can apply for those opportunities earlier, that's obviously better. You can also apply in the spring as well. That's absolutely fine as well. I would suggest, though, applying before the summer, so then you can complete all of your documents and all of your visa application earlier. At the moment, I can't say the exact dates because they've not been announced yet, but they'll be announced very soon. The scholarships and the fees and the application dates are all announced around the same time, which is quite soon. But I would say apply in the autumn or the spring if possible, and then complete your application before the summer, so then you are ready and you're prepared before you actually come. That's what I would recommend. However, we do still have the January entry as well. So if you are thinking of a postgraduate degree, not undergraduate, postgraduate, then you also have the option to come to Liverpool in January as well. There are a range of programs available in January, so it's mostly engineering and science, I think it is. There's numerous programs available from them. They are also available in January at postgraduate level, and the application deadline for those is the 31st of October. So that's another possibility if you are interested in those programs. If you are looking for any other undergraduate or postgraduate program, I would recommend trying to do it in the autumn or the spring. That's what I would recommend.
Thank you. And last questions. Do you ask for LNET exam for law school or not? If yes, do you recall what the average exam result you were expecting?
Sorry, could you say that again? I couldn't hear what you said first.
Do you ask for LNAT exam for law school or not? And if yes, do you recall what the average exam results you were expecting?
Oh, I don't know the answer to that question, I'm afraid. Again, first of all, I'd recommend checking the law school website to see what the requirements are for the program and then what it says for Turkish applicants. If it doesn't say the answer, then you can email us directly and then we can answer the question. But I'm afraid I don't know the answer to that exact question.
Okay. And what is the required AP scores for engineering programs and computer science?
Again, you'd have to check the specific website. And then if you can't find the information, contact us directly. For many programs, because it does change every year. So I know at the moment, the university is slightly changing, adapting its grading criteria for programs. So even if I do provide the answers, it may change again. So the best thing to do is to check the website in let's say a few weeks, see what the requirements are on the page for the program that you're interested in. If it's not clear, then definitely contact us and then we can answer directly. That's what I would say. For all programs, it's the same answer, basically.
Perfect. What kind of study abroad programs do you offer for humanities?
Okay. So again, it does depend on the program, but I know a lot of departments do offer those possibilities for numerous different programs. Like, for example, the languages programs, they tend to have a year abroad placements in countries related to like the languages, for example. I think a lot of programs that we offer do provide that year abroad opportunity or the semester abroad. I don't think it's just for certain programs. I think it's a lot of them. Obviously, we talked about the opportunities earlier, focusing on some specific examples, but I know a lot of programs do offer this opportunity. It's more of a central thing. So all students generally have this opportunity. There's not that many limitations. I would suggest, again, looking at the website for your program, and it will tell you what you could potentially do. And you can also look for programs in the list of programs. You can see which ones do offer this service, this opportunity, and then go for those specifically. So overall, there are a lot of opportunities to study overseas for a year or a semester. It's not limited just to certain programs.
Okay, and we have another question on the chat box. Could you please give some information about dorms?
Do you mean the accommodation?
Yes.
Yeah, sure. So like we mentioned before, we have quite a lot of very modern accommodation available. Generally, it's usually for undergraduates, but that's not always the case. But generally, it's first for undergraduates because there's more of them. So they are all very modern, all on campus. You can see all the specific details on our website because you can search for like the pricing range and the size and location and so on. But from what I can see, it's all very modern and it's all very nice. Generally speaking, they are studios, so they're usually designed for one person. So if you are coming to the UK, coming to Liverpool by yourself, then it's okay. If you are coming, if you plan to come with your family, for example, which is still available this year and for January, if you wanted to bring family members, you would need to go for private accommodation, so it's separate. For what is available on campus, usually, like I said, it's a studio apartment, so it's like a single queen double-sized bed, large bed, very modern. Usually it's a private bathroom. I think all accommodation now is en suite, so you have your own bathroom, your own bedroom. There's no catering in the dormitories, in the accommodation. We used to have that facility, but it's not that popular really these days in the UK. So normally people would have basically how it works is you have your own small studio apartment, you have a bathroom inside your apartment, and then you may have a shared kitchen lounge area. Usually it's around 4 to 6 small studio apartments sharing a small kitchen lounge area. So you can make your own food and so on in those. And then obviously if you want to eat away from your rooms, then obviously there are restaurants and so on around campus and in the city centre as well. And for the accommodation, like I said, obviously it's very modern, so it has modern features. I think some of them have like exercise facilities, I think, and there's common rooms. So common room being an area with lounges and TVs and games and so on. And usually for all of these facilities, there's also 24-hour security, as far as I know. So they have staff available all the time to help students. And then they have a kind of point of contact. So if you have a problem, you can go to them, and that's where your mail will go and so on. So it's a very nice, very safe kind of atmosphere for students. And because a lot of the accommodation is actually very close to the university buildings, it's also very convenient as well. So overall, it's very good. And obviously, we do have private accommodation, which is off campus. And again, there's a lot of accommodation available very close to the campus. Sometimes it's run by big companies that provide accommodation all over the UK, and sometimes it's just individual houses. We do have a website that we recommend, which is called, I think it's Liverpool Student Homes, I think it's called. So if you Google that, Liverpool Student Homes, there is a private website which we work with, but it's a private company. And they list all of the opportunities, or all of the accommodation that is available off campus, which we accept and support. So that list is only the homes that we think is good quality. We accept it. So in that case, it's like individual houses or just apartment buildings. You will find in Liverpool, if you're not in university accommodation, if you live in a private building, there's lots of very pretty buildings close to campus. So you might be quite lucky to live in a very nice area. So not just a small house or apartment building, but actually really nice buildings. So yeah, hopefully that answers the question about the accommodation.
Yes, thank you very much for the answer, Brandon. That was all.
Okay.
You answered all of the questions. Thank you for
Perfect.
your answers. Also, could you please share an email address in the chat box so that if the participants have further questions, they can reach you out there?
Yeah, sure. Just give me 1 second. I will share my email address. So this is my email address, and that is correct. Yeah. So if you send me an email, I can pass your message to our like admissions team, and then they can answer any specific questions about entry requirements, or if you want to ask about programs, or if you want to ask about life in Liverpool, you can ask me because I live in the centre. I know the city very well. But yeah, feel free to contact me. That's no problem.
Yes, thank you very much for the great presentation. It was very informative for the attendees, and you covered all of the questions. Thank you for your answers too. Also, I would like to thank the participants in Turkish as well.
Okay.
Katıldığınız için teşekkür ederiz arkadaşlar. Umarım sizin için de faydalı bir webinar olmuştur. Bir sonraki webinarlarımızda görüşmek üzere. University of Liverpool ile ilgili diğer sorularınızı chat kısmında paylaşılmış olan mail adresinden Brandon'a ulaştırabilirsiniz. Thank you very much again, Brandon. It was a pleasure to have you in IEFT Talks and look forward to welcoming you in IEFT fairs in November.
Yes, I look forward to seeing you. Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.